if you'd like to find out what makeup products have really impressed me in 2021, then please keep watching. Hello, Des here, and thank you so much for joining me in my review of 2021 makeup products for the over 50 woman. If this is the type of content that you enjoy, I would really be grateful if you consider giving this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it, and better yet subscribing to the channel, because it really helps the algorithm of YouTube put my video in front of other older women who might enjoy the content. And with that, let's hop into it. So I'm going to start first of all with foundations, and I've got 3. So let's start with the L'Oreal True Match foundation, which is this one here. And I have it in the shade 5N Sand, and it comes in 40 shades. It's got an SPF of 17. I think it's a great foundation. It's what I'm wearing today. Let me swatch a bit for you. It's a little bit runny, but not super runny, and it probably only needs a couple of pumps. I think that's the amount that I used today, and I'm really impressed with it. It's very reasonably priced. It's available everywhere. It doesn't appear to have any alcohol in it, which means it'll be good for skins that have a tendency to be a bit dry. Just to let you know, oh sorry, I'm eating my hair. Just to let you know, my skin is normal, so it's not dry, it's not greasy, it's not really combination anymore. It used to be, but not really now. It is, however, allergic to anything that's fragrance, so all the products I mentioned today will not have any fragrance in them. But I'm really impressed. I keep eating my hair. I'm really impressed with this foundation. I think it's incredibly good value. It's very inclusive with 40 shades, and it feels really nice on the skin. It is buildable. I think a couple of pumps is quite enough. I tend to put it on with my fingers, and I really like it. My second foundation is also a drugstore product, but it's slightly more expensive, and it's the No. 7 Lift and Luminate. And I take this in the shade Cool Beige, and it has an SPF of 15. Let me just pop a little pump on for you, and there it is. Now that one isn't at all runny. This does have alcohol in it, but it's quite far down the ingredients list, so it shouldn't trouble dry-skinned women too much, I would have thought. But you might just want to be, be mindful of that and maybe swatch it if you actually can go to the store and try it. It's got a really nice buildable coverage, and it's very comfortable to wear. And again, all these foundations that I've chosen are very skin-like. They're all light to medium coverage. I haven't tried any, and I don't want any full coverage, because I don't really think I need them. My skin isn't that blemished. Yes, it's got lesions and it's got sort of brown moly things, not brown spots exactly, or sun damage spots. It's the sun damage that creates those lesions, like one here. I think you can probably see that. But so I don't need a heavy coverage foundation. That's not what I'm looking for, and I really think this No. 7 Lift and Luminate is excellent. And my third foundation, of course, is the Lisa Eldridge, which has only recently come out, and it's this one here. It's the Seamless Skin. I do love it. Again, the consistency is, I mean, obviously it's a high end. Let me just swatch a little bit for you there. You can see it there. I am in the shade 14. It comes in, gosh, I can't remember how many shades, but it's very inclusive. I think it might be 35 or 40 shades. And it comes in this really interesting, very beautiful looking bottle, which actually you have to put down sideways. You can't stand it up because it's pointy at the end, but I don't mind. I just thought for fun, I'm going to show you the 3 different colours on my hand here, because they are all slightly different. So, God, I remember which is which now. So the one in the middle is the Lisa Eldridge. That's the No. 14. This one on this side is the No. 7, and that one is the L'Oreal True Match. And you can see they are all slightly different. So actually, the Lisa Eldridge is probably the warmest, I would say. The other 2 are cooler. Because it's really difficult sometimes to choose a shade, isn't it? And people's perception of what suits you as well is really interesting. Because when I did my Lisa Eldridge test card video, as it were, and I'll link that up in the corner for you and down below in the description box. Some of my watchers and my subscribers commented that they would have thought I was a different shade to the one I chose, which was a 14. And to be honest, there's a bit of a fine line between what is the right shade for you and what isn't, particularly when you've got so many shades to choose from. Because I think for me, I am neutral, olive, cool, if there is such a thing. I know that one of the ways you're supposed to be able to tell is if you look at your veins, and I don't know whether you'll be able to see the colour of my veins on there, but of course I'm not in natural light, so that's another issue that has to be taken into account. I'm having to use box lights, or whatever you call them, white lights, because I just don't have the ability to sit in front of a really good light unless I want my neighbours to see in and see what I'm doing. So at the moment I have to film under lights, and I think that's going to affect the way things look on camera. It's not going to look exactly the same as what it's like when you're outside or in natural light. But anyway, I think it's quite useful and instructive to look at the different colours and see. I mean, I think they all suit me, but as you can see, they are all quite different. So my next category is concealers, and I have one Drugstore, which is the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. Then I have two high-end, which are the Tarte Ultra Creamy Concealer and the Lancome Teint Idole Longwear, which you're supposed to be able to wear all over. I think they're all great. Today I'm wearing the Camo Concealer by e.l.f. and I think it's really good. I've had it on for what, 2 or 3 hours now, and I don't think it's settled into my fine lines. The only thing I would say about this, and let me swatch it for you, is I think I may have chosen a slightly lighter colour, but it is sand. There you are, you see, that's what I was just saying about the foundations. It is actually quite difficult to tell which colour is going to suit you, and particularly when it's hard to try them on in the drugstore. So this is the e.l.f. You can see it's quite light. And then this one is the Teint Idole. Let me just pop that in the middle. Yeah, see, that's quite a bit darker. And it's not as runny, or at least it's not as thick. I hope you'll be able to see on camera. And then let me just swatch the Ultra Creamy Shape Tape. Yes, they are all very different colours, just like the foundations. So we've got the, let me just get this the right way around. We've got e.l.f. followed by the Lancome. Yeah, we've got the e.l.f. followed by the Lancome, followed by the Tarte. And as you can see, they are really quite appreciably different colours, but they all suit me. They all suit me. She says, eating her hair again. In terms of the consistency, the e.l.f. is definitely the thickest, and the Lancome is definitely the thinnest, interestingly, and the Tarte is in between. But they all work effectively. None of them have really settled into fine lines. I would rate all of them. As I say, the only caveat possibly with the e.l.f., with the drugstore version, is that it's thicker, it's more difficult to apply sparingly, and it probably, of the three, might settle into fine lines a bit more quickly than the other two, and I don't think the other two do. And actually I have done a wear test on the other two. If you want to watch that, I will link it up in the corner for you and down below in the description box. So my next category in my 2021 best of makeup is bronzers, and my favourite bronzer, which I have been using all year, is the Bobbi Brown Stonestreet, and this is it here. And I will swatch it in a moment, but it's now been replaced almost by Step Forward Milani, which is quite new to me in terms of, I don't think I own any other Milani products at all, but this is Kimberly, whose channel Pretty Over 50 is a must watch in my view, and I'll link it down below for you if you haven't come across her before, although I'm sure you must have done. And she talked about this Milani bronzer, and it's Silky Matte, and it's called Sunkissed. And let me swatch them for you. The reason I decided to try the Milani is because I was looking for something that wasn't quite as dark as the Stonestreet, and let me swatch that for you. Middle finger is the Bobbi Brown, and the one next to it is the Milani. The consistency is similar, but I would say that the Bobbi Brown is a bit more powdery, a bit looser somehow than the Milani, which is a bit creamier. So actually, I mean, although you can see I've hit pan on the Bobbi Brown, I have really loved it and used it. At the moment, I'm favouring the Milani, but they're both great products and I highly recommend both of them as bronzers. I have tried some cream bronzers. I tried the Fenty Beauty one, but I don't know, I'm sort of not into cream products as much as I used to be at the moment, so I'm really enjoying both these bronzers. Now, I wasn't going to have a blusher category because the blusher that I always use, and I've been using for about 2 years now without fail, is the Hourglass. I can't remember the colour I'm in now, but I'll link it down below for you, and I use it all the time, and I'm waiting, desperately waiting, because I've finally ordered the one that Tamara's Timeless Beauty talks about and loves, and that is the not Mood Indigo, I was going to say, it's also the Hourglass, but it's a different shade to the one I've got. Mood, oh gosh, I'll link it down below if you can't remember the name of it at the moment, but it hasn't arrived yet. But actually a late arrival is this new e.l.f., or at least it's new to me, Primer Infused Shimmer Blush. Interestingly, I can't see any shimmer in that, but let me just swatch a little bit for you. And there you go. It is an absolutely beautiful colour, and I'm wearing it at the moment, and I can't see any shimmer on it myself, unless you can. Maybe when I play back the video. This is the problem with doing filming under artificial light. I don't know what you're seeing until I play it back. But anyway, I think it's a beautiful colour. I really, really do. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. It is a bit lighter, or at least on my finger, it looks lighter than the colour I would normally go for. But I really like it, and I think it's great, and it's a very reasonable price. Can't remember what it is. We'll link it down below for you. My next category is an eyebrow pencil. I'm absolutely mad about the Bobbi Brown Long Wear Brow Pencil. And the reason is, well, let me just show you. It's got a spoolie at one end, and then this is the pencil at the other end, and I love it because it's very waxy and it's also thick. Can you see how thick that nib is? And that's right up my street because I'm quite cat-handed when I make myself up. I don't find it easy to draw little hairs. That's really not me. I prefer to just whack it on. Well, that's maybe an exaggeration. Obviously, I'm trying to be careful, but I don't spend a long time fiddling around with little hairs. I just can't do that. I'd rather just get on with it. So this has been an absolute godsend for me. I really love it. But I have to say, because I was trying some new drugstore makeup for another video, which I will link up here for you if it goes out before this one, which I think it will, then for that video I got hold of a Revolution pencil, which has a similar format in that it's got a spoolie at one end here, and at the other end the pencil is, now it is much more narrow, but it's equally waxy. It's also retractable. And let me just show you, actually let's just compare the colours. This one, actually yeah, this one is quite dark brown. So it is a much thinner nib. But, I mean, I'm wearing it today and it's not bad, is it? I mean, I haven't made too much of a hash of it, I don't think. And this is the Bobbi Brown, which is, yeah, you can see actually the top one is the Bobbi Brown, the bottom one is the Revolution. So it is a bit darker, but I do think the Revolution is good. As I say, I can't remember the price, but it is drugstore and it will be a lot cheaper than the Bobbi Brown. Bobbi Brown is quite a pricey but lovely brand. So really impressed with the Revolution brow pencil, but absolutely love the Bobbi Brown. Now, eyeshadow palettes. I have got quite a few. I have gone absolutely eye palette mad this year. I really have. And I don't know whether it's simply a feature of the fact that I'm now doing YouTube videos, which I only started doing a few months ago, or whether it's because I've just rediscovered them, because I don't even rediscovered. I've always had palettes, but they've always been really small, like Bobbi Brown ones actually, and most of them have been brown eyeshadows of different hues or shades. I mean, the odd purple one, and then once or twice I bought some Charlotte Tilbury's, but really I haven't gone in for palettes in a big way until this year. So let me show you, and I'm going to start with the one that I've been reaching for ever since I bought it really, which is the Morphe by Madison Beer palette, and it's this one. I'm sorry, it's quite mucky. but it is very well used, and I've already started to hit pan on one of the colours, this one here. So let me just swatch. In fact, I'll tell you the colours that I love best. So here's the pan, and let me show you my favourite colours. I'm just going to swatch them. So we've got, so this one, the one I've hit pan on, is Fight Club. Then we've got, the next one is Life Support. Then we've got 3533 or 3553, very strange name. And then finally, Rabbit Hole. Oh, they feel so nice. Oh, let me just get a bit more on that. So that, oh, so there are the colours. There are some fantastic colours in there, as you can see. It's a mixture of, I suppose it's warm and neutral. Although I've got cool, neutral and rosy tones in my skin, I don't actually really enjoy wearing very cool toned eyeshadow. So for example, I bought the Stone Cold Fox palette, which everybody in the States was raving about, because I thought, well, it's bound to suit me because I'm cool toned. And actually I've got a video which I'll link up in the corner for you and down below in the description box. I just don't reach for it at all. I find it's too cold for me. It doesn't really enhance my features at all. It just makes me look a bit drained, actually, if I'm honest. So I don't reach for those. So I much prefer this, which is interesting, isn't it? In fact, even the top that I'm wearing today, the sort of beigey top, is not really cool toned either. But because I've got green eyes and my veins are sort of a bit greeny, I don't know whether you can tell on the screen, I prefer myself in cool toned clothes, like charcoals and greys and blues. I never reach for reds, or well, I wear red occasionally, but I don't wear orange, I don't wear yellow, not next to my skin. It doesn't really suit me, it makes me look too sallow. So anyway, I love this palette. I think it's got all the right sort of colours for me, and I highly, highly recommend it. But this is just one of several palettes that I've got to share with you today. So the next palettes I want to talk about are two palettes by MAC. They are 9-pan palettes, and they're this one, which is in Dusty Rose, and this one, which is in Burgundy. And I'll link up here for you and down below in the description box a video I did using these two palettes, or using the Burgundy palette. I did a holiday bonfire night get ready with me a few weeks ago. I absolutely love these palettes. The colours are right up my alley. Look at these beautiful burgundies. Let me just swatch you a little bit. So pigment is great. There's not a lot of fallout. You've got everything you could want for an autumn winter collection there. I think they're absolutely stunning. That's the burgundy one. Ooh, this is the Dusty Rose, and let me swatch some of these as well. They are just, the pigments are just beautiful, and again they feel so creamy. This is slightly more cool toned. Actually, this has got a little bit of similarity, or at least some of the colours of the Stone Cold Fox palette, but let me just show you. Look at those beautiful colours, aren't they gorgeous? Absolutely gorgeous. So really loving them. The palettes are not cheap. MAC is actually quite pricey, and it's funny, you know, as I said in that video when I used the MAC palette for Get Ready With Me, I used to be really intimidated by MAC because it seemed to me that it was only for professionals, you know, when you went up to the counter, and I used to think, oh no, it's not for the likes of me. But actually, buying them online has been fine, and I do have one or two lipsticks by MAC, but I don't have a lot of products by them, I suppose, as I say, because they scared me a little bit. But now that I've got these two palettes, I will definitely be investigating the brand more. So loving those two palettes by MAC. The next palette I want to talk about is by Tarte, and it's the Tartelette Lil Juicy, and it's this one here. Now, I haven't actually worn this all that much because I bought it towards the end of the summer, and I would say it's definitely a spring-summer palette. But look at some of these stunning colours. I mean, aren't they just the business? And let me swatch some for you. Oh my lord. I mean, again, it's got my favourite pinks, but it's also got some fantastic raspberry colours. It's got some shimmery shades. It's even got a gold. Let me swatch the gold for you. Oh my gosh. The only thing about it is, it's funny. it smells vanilla-y, and I don't really like vanilla. So as soon as you open the palette, and I don't know if that's to do with this Amazonian clay that they talk about using, but it's got an amazingly pungent vanilla scent. But anyway, look at some of these stunning colours. I mean, it is absolutely beautiful. So I will be using that more in the spring, summer. I mean, I suppose I could use the gold in the winter, but probably not for now. But it's something that I shall look forward to using when the spring, summer comes around. And finally, a very late entrant. In fact, it only entered today because I was filming a drugstore video earlier today, and I bought a palette specially to do that because I didn't have a drugstore high street palette. And it's this e.l.f. palette called Rose Gold Nude. And again, I know you're going to say, oh my God, you've already got all those colours already. Why have you bought the same palette? And yes, I suppose it's true, there are some similarities, but they're not identical. But it is a fantastic palette, and let me swatch some of the colours for you. It's 10 pan, and I'll just go from dark. And actually, let me just swatch that really amazing looking pinky one. Oh, look at that. Oh, again, they feel fantastic. Do you know what? I'll probably watch this video back and go, but wait a minute, you're holding up the same colours each time. But look at them. Aren't they just the business? I must say, e.l.f. is a fantastic brand. I'm really falling in love with it, and it seems to have such fantastic products for very reasonable prices. Really, really impressed with them. So that's the Rose Gold Nude Palette by e.l.f. Okay, let's talk mascaras now, and I have two. I have the Maybelline Sky High Mascara, and I have the L'Oreal Bambi Eye, and they are both fantastic. I'm wearing the L'Oreal today, but they are both really good, and I am a convert to these kind of mascaras, because I used to think I wanted a big, thick brush, but actually these mascaras do not have those. This is a nice bendy brush. Let me show you actually. See, it's bendy. Woo. And it makes mascara application really straightforward. And the Maybelline is also bendy, I think I'm right in saying. Yep, also a bendy brush. Again, extremely good for application, just makes it so much easier. Because I used to think, oh, I need a thick brush to coat the mascara, to coat the eyelashes with a nice thick coating. But actually you get a really simple and thick application, or as much application as you want if you do two applications, which is what I do, with the rubber ones. They really work extremely well, and there's not much to choose between both of them. I think they're excellent mascaras, drugstore prices, highly recommend. So finally we come to lipsticks. Now I was going to mention Lisa Eldridge, but to be fair, I don't think I got any new ones in 2021 from Lisa Eldridge, so I can't really mention them in 2021. But what I am going to mention is Anastasia Beverly Hills. And I'm going to mention a brand new one, which is Wet n Wild, and it's called Liquid Catsuit. Look at this. And this is also featured, well, I'm wearing it at the moment, and it's featured in my Get Ready With Me drugstore makeup. But gosh, this is so good. I have never tried any Wet n Wild products before. I wasn't really aware of them until I started watching YouTube, but I'm super impressed with this. I've had this on for a couple of hours now, and it's a liquid lipstick, which I really like. I love the idea of these liquid lipsticks because they go on, well, let me show you. The same one with the Anastasia Beverly Hills, which I'll show you in a minute. So you get this doe foot applicator. In fact, should I just pop, no, let me just swatch it because I don't want to overdo my lips. But that's the colour. I mean, again, as you can tell, it's a sort of dusky pink. What a surprise. But the consistency is great, and it feels comfortable on the lips. You put it on and then it dries down. Now sometimes, not so much with this one, but with the Anastasia Beverly Hills, I sometimes end up as if I've drawn my top lip with a lip pencil, which is, I don't mind that actually, it looks fine, it kind of gives an outline, I'm not too bothered about it. But it feels really comfortable on the lips, it doesn't feel drying, it feels good, it feels a bit, not velvety exactly, but it feels quite cushiony and comfortable, and I just forget I've got it on. So really enjoying wearing this one. Let me show you the Anastasia Beverly Hills. Funnily enough, the first one I'm going to show you is called Dusty Rose. What a surprise. Let me just swatch that. And then the newest one is called Catherine. And let me show you that. And that's a slightly warmer, redder, is there such a word? More red, more reddy colour. There we go. But they are both beautiful colours and both beautiful consistencies, obviously much more high-end than the Wet n Wild, but I really love them all and really delighted with them. And there you have it. Those are my favourite products for the over 50 woman for 2021. I really hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, I'd really be grateful if you'd consider giving it a good thumbs up, and better yet subscribing to the channel, because by doing that it really helps support my channel and helps it to be put in front of other older women who are looking for this kind of content. And leave me a comment below. Let me know, what did you think of any of these products? Have you tried any of them? Are you like me and just choose the same bloomin' dusty rose all the time or similar? I don't know, but I have really loved using these products, and I'd love to know what you think about them as well. And thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you in 2022. Bye.